So that's just something to kind of be mindful of. Space, ZGNX, like all these things are getting smoked. We'll make a good list. There's a good list of stocks we can trade here. That's for sure. Now let's talk about like the general market and where we got to go. So good morning. The market's getting smoked right now. We're going to open down probably maybe 400 points, give or take. Actually, by the time the market opens, it probably will be 500 points. So it's a nasty open. We closed okay. Like we gapped up yesterday. We held some strength, and then we kind of drifted lower. But we closed okay for the most part. The market was waiting, and I thought the squeeze was coming yesterday because the Trumpster had like a press release or was a press conference at 6, and nobody loves to squeeze the market more than the Trumpster. I was thinking we'd squeeze yesterday, but we just didn't come. We meandered around pretty much all day. Everybody was waiting for the press conference, and frankly, the press conference left a little bit to be desired. Imagine like the whole world is scared, and you get on and you're like, hey guys, take a chill pill. Mike Pence is in charge, okay? He's fantastic. He used to be the governor of Indiana. He does not believe in science, but he does believe in the coronavirus, okay? He's in charge. It's going to be fantastic. He's great people. So now, now the market's getting smoked because nobody's buying this stuff. And before you know it, these things they can topple over. So we have a handful of things that we really need to watch today. Number one, when we gap down here, we're going to be completely outside the lower Bollinger Band. We're also at a 5 stochastics. The sentiment is crazy bad right now. Ideally, with this, I want to see a big gap down. If we hold at the open, so I'll be looking at a 2-minute chart. If we hold at the open, we start to kind of take out that opening range a little bit, I'm going to look for some longs. But it'll be quick. What we want to do is if the market starts to really spike and goes red to green at that point, then we know the game is on and we're in bounce mode. If the market holds at the lows and we just get a quick spike or we don't spike at all, then guess what? We're going to have to flip this thing short and go back the other way. This is, as day traders, we are taught to embrace and love market volatility. But market volatility can make you make bad decisions. You can oversize, and you have to be always willing to take small losses in the hunt for a trend, essentially, because you don't necessarily know which way the market's going to roll today. We got the gap down, but the daily chart says we should be longing. But the daily chart is also saying that, the chart has been broken. So we've got multiple things that are kind of going in opposite. But we do know that we're oversold. And usually when the sentiment gets really, really nasty, that's when you get the biggest squeezes in the market. Main thing is protect your capital and just be nimble. Say we take a shot at some longs at the open, you can trade small. Don't go in full-blown 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares. Do a couple hundred shares. See if it starts to work. Then you can add some more as you start to build. If we start to get a trend, we will have a lot of time to actually hop into the trend. We don't have to jump in perfectly. But the big thing is to trade small. I saw a lot of people in the chat room do really, really well yesterday. I saw some people get smoked out. Why? Because if you oversize at the open, then that's just what happens. So let's just be mindful of what's going down. There's a lot of names in play today. All these virus names, you can see here, Codex, AHPI, GCAP, APT, mRNA, NVAX, VER. These are all virus names you got to keep an eye on. So I put all these on your watch list, all right? They're going to move up and down. Now, to me, they're starting to look like big, juicy shorts, but it's never as linear as you think, where you get they look like shorts, and then that's the day that they become shorts. Does that make sense? It's kind of like with space. It's looking extended, it's extended, and then it gets more extended, over time. And then when you're least expect it, it gets extended, it gets extended, it gets extended, it gets extended. You know what I mean? And then when you least expect it, it just dies down, it gets cut in half. It's not going to be easy. So I don't think that you get I don't think you're just going to get an easy short on all these, like right off the bat. But they are getting long in the tooth. Like this thing was 18 bucks. It's at 36. So they're just day trading vehicles at this time. The interesting part about mRNA is it's going to be breaking out the all-time highs, and it's an IPO stock today. So this is like, it's starting to really bust loose. Yeah, but I'm not trading. This one's not on my watch list today. Why? Because it did a dipsy-do dunkaroo on me. It did a shake and bake on me yesterday. And when stocks shake and bake, I don't like that. So if you see here, like you based out all day, and it looked like it was busting loose here, and it popped up, and it's like, woo, here we go. And then it dumped. You do that to me once, it's, all right, it's bad luck. It happens to me again, then I screwed up, right? So I ain't gonna do it again. I ain't messing with this one. There's other ways to lose money in this market. So I'm not gonna even mess with this one. I think these other ones though, they're tradable. You know, this APT, you know, some of these bad boys we can add to the watch list. We'll trade them back and forth, but I'm really only interested in the short on these. You know, this thing was $4. I'm only interested in the short on these. It's just a matter of when, you know. GCAP, like all of these are all, you know, these all NVAX, NVAX, like all of these are looking like some juicy ones, but like we're just going to have to be mindful. Lake is also another one. So you got like a whole host of vaccine type names. I think APT makes the mass that you can put on your watch list. Day trade them back and forth and then start looking for hints or cracks that they could roll over. Does the gap start to fill? Does it go red to green? So on and so forth. Like a 51% gap in APT is like just, it's nuts, you know. Now let's take a look at like just some of the regular stocks that are non-vaccines. I think this NTNX has got a chance today. You're breaking under the 200 SMA. You may fizzle out on this one. See how you got like this gap down and you're starting to just kind of meander around. If you ORB down this way, you know, right around like 25.50, I think this one's going to have a chance. Now, the big hairy Indian butt on this one is what? If you're trying to short this thing. SSR, good Andrew. The SSR is on it. Short sale restriction. Short sale restriction means you cannot short on the bid. So you got to let this thing pop before you roll it back over. So that's going to be something to really be mindful of. But yes, I do, Danny. I got a whole list of swing trade stocks that I'm ready to deploy, you know, when I see them. This space is busting down too. They had an earnings miss yesterday. The sales miss estimates. I mean, they didn't have any sales. So I don't know how they miss estimates, but any kind of pop on this one, man, I had a nice short on this one end of the day. And any kind of pop in this one, I think we roll this thing over to. It's bleeding out now. But if it gets back to 20, I may try to do a dead cat bounce in this. What I mean by dead cat bounce is like a quick bounce. But the trend is busted. The trend is busted. You know, the trend has been busted. You know, so any bounce, I look to short. But if it comes down to 20, I will look for a quick counter trend long on this. Squarespace had some news out today. Their earnings are out. This has been a nice trender. And, you know, frankly, we've got some interesting levels that it could be around. It trades pretty good. So I'm definitely looking at, you know, potentially this one too. TDLC knocked it out of the park. They're actually holding up pretty well here. Healthcare information. I think this one's busting out to all-time highs. Oh, yeah. Look at this beautiful trend on this one. Etsy is another one. You got to break over the 200 SMA. Not the best trader. It's a retail stock, but, you know, in general, I think that one will work. You can add plan to the list, but this one I think might be down a little bit too much, 26%. And then CLR, man, this thing is drifting down too. So if you look here, like you got a nice trend down. It looks like they got busted up on earnings. Now it is down like, I mean, it's down 25%. If this thing pops up into the 6, 17, 18, I'll look to load some short on this one This one looks like it's pretty much cooked. The trend is down, guys, so you got to be careful if you're trying to buy anything. You got to really make sure you time them. The big thing to do, you know, we've been going over them in the chat room, right? Look at your top 100 Momo lists. Look at your top 100 Momo lists, and then look at like some of the name brand companies that, you know, you just like to watch. Keep a list of them. When the market gets near some levels, like where you might bounce, that's when you're going to trigger some longer term trades. A few longer term trades, like when the market starts to bounce, they will pay you much more than any day trade can, because you're going to be ripping something for 50 points, 40 points. So you got to definitely be mindful. Watch this 200 SMA on the S&P. I'm not there yet where I think this market's just an easy buy, but at some point you'll get a bounce. Now the thing is, remember, when you get a bounce, it could just be a dead cat bounce. You got to play it both ways. When you see the bounce, it may not be the bounce. It could just be a relief bounce. So you got to be nimble with this. This is a tough market for new traders to trade. If I have a brand new student who's just getting started, I would tell them, just watch me trade, learn something, simulate, or trade like 50 shares of stuff, 100 shares of stuff. Sometimes when the market gets volatile, we think with googly eyes, like this is how we're going to get rich. No, you make big money when the markets are just trending and they're easy and you can put on a lot of risk and they just go up every day. You know, it's always fool's gold when you think the market's crashing and you think this is how I'm going to get rich, right? Because it's just too wild. You know, it's too wild. So we'll watch around this 200 SMA. I got some alerts. I'll look for on shorter term time frames and see if we've got, you know, potential bounce. I don't know, right? We don't know, but we'll watch and learn. And I think this 200 SMA is where we start watching. If you look here, the T2108 is at 18. Anything under 20, you know, if we're like looking at a measure of market breadth, anything under 20 has preceded some big time market ramps. But I will say that 10 is like a for sure. 10 is like an extreme level where you're saying like this is like a once in a year, 2-year opportunity. This is a measure of market breadth. Percentage stocks above the 40. You see, you only get under 10 like once every couple years. So that would indicate like there's so much extreme selling that the market breadth flips the other way. That you get so extreme that a bounce is coming. So we're not there yet. Like we're oversold, but under 10 is extreme. That's when you start to say like, okay, you whip out your IRA, you whip out your 401k, and you say, you know what? These are some of my favorite stocks. I'm going to be adding them for a 1 month, 2 month hold where I try to nail 50%, you know, 25%, 30%, like some bigger gains, right? You're going to add in those swings. Guys, check in the Discord room. I have like a whole fucking list of them that I think could go bonkers. Check in the Discord room. I got a whole list of those bad boys. Let me tell you about 2 stocks that I think, you know, if the market does start to reverse today, 2 stocks that are rubber band trades I think could work. You got CCL. All these cruise ships are getting smoked, obviously, because who's going to take a cruise liner during the middle of the coronavirus scare? One more big flush on this one. If it goes red to green, I think we can long this for a quick counter trend trade. Same thing with RCL. Look at this thing. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 7 day, 8 day, 9 day. We're on day 10. All right? Day 10. You're getting parabolic. So if you look at a weekly chart, look at this thing. You know, you're really busting down. So it's got more room to fall long term. But I'm talking about like on a 1 or 2 day basis. If we start to get a reversal in the market today, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing squeeze back into the 90s real quick before it probably rolls back over. But you get yourself a nice little pizza party on this one. And you can see your Crocs is missing earnings. There's a lot of these. UGAS. I mean, these things are just getting smoked out all over the place. Lubes. Uber. Man, Uber is getting smoked. Look at that. Some of these, like Uber, this is also what we'd call like a rubber band trade. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day. Look at this thing. Uber, Lyft, All of these roll. Now, for what purposes we have today, we want to have a focus list, because I'm just throwing at you a million tickers, right? Well, we want to have a focus name. So there's a handful of things that we want to do. If the market starts to pop, I'm going to short this TVIX, all right? I'm going to short this TVIX, because you short TVIX, it goes down, the market goes up, essentially. Now, the big hairy butt of this is we don't know if it's a short yet, because it's just trending. We would need the market to actually reverse. If this thing spikes down at the open and holds 80, and the market stays red, we're going to try long in this one, because frankly, you got room up here. You know, you've got a lot of room because it's done a lot of reverse splits. TQQ, this is the ETF for the NASDAQ. When the market gets really volatile, you don't need to trade a lot of individual stock names because they're all going to move in lockstep. So you can use an ETF like TQQ to really just nail down the market moves. So as the market is moving up and down, we'll day trade this TQQQ back and forth. You will watch this one potentially for red to green today. All these are going to move together, right? So like if you think about this, a 3x ETF for the NASDAQ, whether you trade this or you trade Uber, it's going to be the same shit, right? Because it's like one's not going to move without the other. So you might as well stick with really liquid names that are going to move together. Does that make sense? Cool. We've got all these earnings plays that are out, like NTNX, SQ, TDOC, Etsy, Plan, and CLR. These will be our trades because these won't be impacted by the market as much because they're earnings plays, okay? So these are going to be very good ones. I would add Crocs to this list too because it's a retail stock. I didn't put it on, but I feel like we should be shorting Crocs because, dude, anytime you see a guy wearing Crocs, what do you normally think? Brociopath, right? Not even sociopath, brociopath. A brociopath is a very, very different type of person. He's a deep, wide, rare earth angler who knows no bounds of social mores. A brociopath, he's rocking the Crocs. He's got wraparound sunglasses. He's going in to like his Wednesday kickball game or like softball game with like a muscle shirt on, like getting all pumped up, doing push-ups before, like flexing his muscles in front of his wife, like after he hit like an awesome kickball, he's high-five, he's bro-hugging people. He's a very, very strange guy. He adheres to no social mores, and in general, we should, as just like a social contract between us Americans, we should take this company down to teach these type of people a lesson, but it's a retail stock, so it's not going to trade that well anyways. It's not going to trade that well anyways, but let me tell you, a brociopath knows no boundaries. No boundaries. He's a bro, and he's a sociopath. Oh, boy. All right. Now, on top of that, I want CCL, RCL on the list because these things have been getting pummeled. These are just going to be very, very simple. Then we use TQQ, TVIX, and we shred. I wouldn't worry about anything else. All these virus names, keep like 2 of them. You don't need all of them because they're going to move in lockstep. Keep like 2 of them. Like APT works okay. VER. Dude, we saw this VER yesterday. I'd even sat there thinking for like a second, like, it's a chase, but I'm like, maybe I should just add like 100 shares of this thing. Like, these things are going wild. You think about that, right? You add like 100 shares or something like this, man, you're up like 3 G's. Yeah, that's what happens when you get like a low flow biotech stock. They can really, really move. Look at this thing, 61, 50. I can't buy these things today. This is up too much. This thing was $14. It's at 60. Can't buy these things today. But at some point, they're going to fizzle out, and I'm going to be there for the short. VER, APT, I'm going to be there for that short. It's just a matter of when It's not about if, but when. CVNA looks okay. Sales falls short. Yeah, I think that one works too. I'd keep that on the list. Good, good, good. Let me look at SPT, brother. You know, yeah, SPT looks okay. You know, daily chart's kind of weird. There's not much volume on it, but it could work. Yeah, I saw TNXP, and not my personal cup of tea, but I see it. You know, if it holds over 2, because you just had the reverse split over here. Anytime you guys have a reverse split, guys, and you break out, like, you can really go bonkers because the float is, like, much lower than you probably would even think. 162 million shares, like, who's buying this thing? Like, name names. Like, who is buying this turn? Name names. Like, who are these 162 million people that are buying TNXP? They gotta be the people that are rocking the Crocs. They gotta be. So you got anything over 2, it could go. Not my particular cup of tea, but this is the environment. If you're gonna take a shot at some small cap, then this is the market to really do it in, because like all these biotechs are flying around. Just remember, man, you don't invest in these things. This thing will be back at 20 cents in 2 weeks, you know, in general. So just, you know, always be careful when you're playing these kind of things. Man, I lost so much money on small caps in my life. It's very hard to get consistency every day in them unless you just got like wicked, wicked good discipline, which I don't, man. I'm listening to music and I'm doing this and that. Like, I need to trade regular stocks. I can just put a stop loss in. So that's the list, guys. Be careful today. Man, it's very easy to get like sucked in and say like, it's very easy to just get sucked in and overtrade in this kind of environment. This stage looks actually pretty nice too. Very easy, but you don't need to do like anything crazy. Yeah, Mad Sage, like all of these work. And, you know, we're going to have a webinar. I think it's on Tuesday. We'll have a webinar, like kind of how to trade these type of markets in terms of like the specific patterns and, you know, things like that. Because it's only, you know, during a morning session, like all we can do is go over a watch list, you know what I mean? But we'll get these things going and we'll have a little fun. So I'll see everybody on Tuesday and I'll be in the Boom Boom Room. I'm going to stay in the Boom Boom Room all day if I can. You know, we're going to try to find some hot ones. Hey, Eric, call me later today. You know, I had to be on my list, but dude, I traded till the close yesterday pretty much, man. I was beat. You know, a wise man once told me, it's not over trading if you're winning. Oh, shit. I'll see you guys. Let's go do what we do. Let's have some fun. Let's make some money.